did you guys meet? We need to know the story.
We met at Coachella. Hi.
Hi.
This is your trailer?
Yeah, I'm in the band. We're performing on the main stage.
August Moon?
Yeah.
I met someone tonight. I feel a little inspired. This one's called Closer.
To get closer to you, girl.
The Idea of You, starring Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Goldstein, directed by Michael Showalter. I want to talk about this movie. Okay, so first of all, yes, rom-coms are kind of like my guilty pleasure. I love watching them. One of my favorites is How to Be Single, and Anyone But You was alright as well. So now that we got that out of the way, in this video I want to talk about The Idea of You, and I'm gonna just kind of dissect it and see what makes this movie so great. And towards the end I'm also gonna reveal something that in my opinion is kind of like a hot take of how I think that this movie could have been made way better with just one small change. 1. The score. Not even once in this movie have I been really conscious about the music, thinking like, hey, this music is really good, because that should never really be the case. I think the music should never take away the attention from the image itself and the action that's happening on screen. And to me also, what really makes this story really good as of the music and the score is that they never use like the cheesy, happy, fluffy music, where I always feel like the director goes something like, yeah, like at this point of the movie, the audience should really feel like super excited by this moment, so throw in like a bunch of cheesy music and yeah, that will just work. Like, no bitch, let me enjoy this moment for a moment without, yeah, like the music being way too present, you know? The vast majority of this film is originally scored music that's, to be honest, in my opinion, very well produced. And obviously it's a story about a woman and a boy, like a member of a boy band falling in love, right? So like, obviously it's a very music oriented movie, so naturally you have originally scored music. But I really think that all of the music from August Moon that they made for this is really the right kind of boy band vibey type of music, which some will say that is exactly like what I talked about, like really cheesy and not that good of good music. But I think that it makes the contrast between Hayes' single career at the end of the movie and the boy band music that he makes in the beginning of the movie even bigger, which just shows like his love for music eventually. So I think that that's great. But even more important in this movie, what really stands out to me and what a lot of movies don't know how to do, in this movie they use silence very cleverly. For example, the scene where they make out on the piano, there's no music on that at all, and they just let it play and it lets you sink into the moment, you know? Just like the fact that they let August Moon perform the entire song at the Coachella, so that you really feel like you're in the moment. And that's a storytelling tool that's really well used in this case, like knowing when to put in music and not, and when to hold on to a moment for just that bit longer. And this movie does that really, really well. 2. The cast. I mean, come on. Do I even have to, like, Anne Hathaway? Whew, I'm gonna have to be really try hard to do this in a way that, okay. She's just hot or whatever. It's the or whatever that makes the joke. No, but in all seriousness, if we begin with Anne Hathaway, like, she's just so radiant in this movie, and she's really glowing off the screen, and you can see that she really fits into this role. And I also love about Anne Hathaway that she, you know, she's been doing this for so long now. Like, she's really growing into her roles, and obviously she's a mom as well. So just her in her role as a mom, I think her scenes with her daughter are just so precious. And then of course she can still just just have like that hotness to her, you know. But also like Nicholas Galtzine, like he also just really pops off the screen, and I think really like fits into this role like amazingly. Of course, he has a musical background and has already made the score for other movies that he did, so it just makes sense to have, to cast someone for this character that, has that musical vibe to him. And he just fits into the role, not only of like a boy band guy, but also just the way that he knows how to interact with Anne Hathaway, and how they just, their chemistry is just so amazing, and they both really, they just pop off the screen. So the cast on this video is just so amazing. I mean, at the end of the day, they just casted two incredibly hot people for this movie, which for a rom-com is important. My hot take on how to make this movie better. Okay, so I want to talk about the ending. First of all, the ending of this movie, I mean, it's already great, you know, like it really makes you feel good, and like it just makes you happy, and you're like, fuck yeah, they did it, and just, you know, it makes me feel happy. And second of all, I know that this film is an adaptation of a book, which means that obviously for an adaptation you always have way less freedom as a director to choose a direction in which you want to go. So I am aware of that. But this movie should have ended like La La Land. Like, come on, dude. It's like it had all the ingredients for a perfect La La Land-ish ending. I mean, I'm not saying copy La La Land, but you know, like they fell in love. They weren't supposed to. It didn't work out because of their different lives. And then 5 years later, and then, man, like if he would have come into that art gallery with his wife or fiance around his arm, whew, I think I would have literally cried my eyes out. And to be honest, I have to say, like, when the screen got to black, I was praying. I was really praying. Like, I was saying, please don't end like this. Please don't end like this. Please don't end like this. But in the end, I think that if this movie had an imperfect ending, and that's kind of like more realistic, it would just been so kind of like hurtful, and it would have been kind of like one of those movies that had an ending that really sticks. I don't know, I just really love non-perfect endings. So yeah, that was the idea of You. I'll definitely do some more movies, so yeah, I'll see you guys next week.